is our neighbors in Colorado passed something that is quite shocking to myself and probably to most people. We're going to run through this clip real quick, and I'm going to tee it up.
Democrats advancing a controversial bill that would effectively classify misgendering and dead naming as child abuse in custody decisions. Now, dead naming is when you refer to an individual by their birth name and not the new desired name. So in custody battles, that would now be considered coercive. The Democrats invoked a rule to avoid any debate on this bill and these changes, and now it's heading to the Democrat-controlled Senate, where it will likely pass. I mean, this is wild. Republican State Representative Jarvis Caldwell refused to stay silent, posting this.
When we were going into debate, starting the debate on House Bill 1312, the Democrat majority invoked Rule 16. Rule 16 is calling the question, and it ends debate immediately and then goes directly into a vote. And I believe they did this to silence us because they know how much negative attention this has been getting nationwide. And so what they did was they silenced us and did not let us represent our constituents and talk about the issues that we have with this bill. If you recall, House Bill 1312 says that if your child is confused about their gender identity and you don't affirm that confusion, that delusion, then you are guilty of child abuse and you can lose custody of your children. Now, here's what I wanted to say from the floor of the House of Representatives that I was robbed of saying in silence. I wanted to say it is not me, it is not my constituents, it is not the people from my side of the aisle who are pushing this gender identity crap on the kids of Colorado. They are. And what they want to do with this bill is say that if they confuse your children and you don't affirm that confusion, they will take your child from you.
So, Lydia, if you call your child by their birth pronoun, if you call your child by their birth name, that is considered coercive, and you could have your child taken away in the state of Colorado. I can't think of anything more Orwellian or more Big Brother.
They just passed it. Governor signed it yesterday, right? Mm-hmm. So it did pass the Senate. It did pass everything. So now it's legal. If I misgender my own children in a divorce case, or I don't know if it's just divorce or if it's any case, that child services can come and take my kids away?
Yeah, it's lunacy, and it's absolutely crazy. What I think is even more crazy is this is one of a few different states who've done this already. And, you know, while this is extremely sad and I hate it, and it should never happen, the more Democrats do this stuff, the more we win as Republicans. So let me give you an example. They did a exit poll in the 2024 presidential election in 7 of the key swing states that polled 7 of the swing states. It was 3,000 Democrats who said they voted for Trump. And they asked them what was the number one reason why, as Democrats, they voted for Trump. And they said the transgender issue.
I'd believe that.
It has gone way too far. And this is the hole the Democrats have put themselves in. This is a no-win situation. So they think this is good, this identity politics they're playing here. But the average everyday person that sees this, that's not involved in politics, comes to our side. This is why we won the popular vote.
Well, you can kind of tell that they kind of get in their own little bubbles, and they only talk about and amongst their own people. They don't get outside of that bubble to talk to the normal people, because if you're just amongst a group of people where you're hearing the same thing and they're hearing the same thing and everybody's in agreement, then they make the awful assumption that, well, everybody out in the community is kind of thinking the same way.
Right.
But your little bubble is so small in comparison to what's out there in public that it's not real. And then all of a sudden the votes come in and the election changes. They're like all shocked and surprised. Well, how did it go this direction?
Right.
How did they possibly vote for that?
Yep. I would hope this has massive repercussions for the Democrats in Colorado who voted this way, in a state that used to be solidly red, that slowly, from redistricting and a couple of billionaires who came in, changed that state blue. I hope this swings a couple of those or a bunch of those elections for that legislature this next cycle. I mean, if I was running against a Democrat, this is the only issue I would hammer and campaign on.